YouTube, welcome back to my channel, Taylor Talks Tales. Today I have a book review for you guys. I also want to start out this video by apologizing for my unintended hiatus and sort of being MIA from my channel for last couple of weeks. Things are going well for me. It was just, there's a lot of stuff going on with work and my personal life, but all of it was really good, like just getting more training done with work and just staying busy with work. My volunteer work with Scouts. I am the assistant scoutmaster for a girls troop that's a part of Boy Scouts, so we had this big essentially an igloo outing and then some other stuff entailing with that, and of course finishing up my first draft of my book. I'm very close to it. It's going to be finished probably this weekend, and then it's just some other stuff. Like my grandmother's been a little bit sick, so that's the one not positive thing in my life, but everything else was just awesome stuff, but it happened kind of all at once, so my YouTube channel took a hit. But going forward, I'm going to make sure that doesn't happen again, so I do apologize, and I thank you all so much for still sticking with me and being patient while I, get back on my feet and start filming more videos. I also do want to mention something really quick. I had a subscriber who knows I live in Western Washington send me an email being very concerned and thought that maybe I had coronavirus or something like that. I don't. I do live very close to just the whole impacted area, so I am a part of it. In terms of, like, officially as of today, my school district that I work for has been shut down until March 27th. So for the next couple of weeks, you guys are probably going to be getting way more videos than you're used to, because now all of a sudden I have this, I went from having like no time on my hands to tons of time, so you'll be getting lots of videos, which I welcome any kind of requests. I know that I'm going to be uploading a review on Kin for one of my subscribers who requested it, but there's a couple other requests that I have, but now is a great time to do that because I'll be able to get a lot of videos in. But yeah, everyone in my family, we're doing well. Nobody has coronavirus. Things are going okay. So I'll keep you posted. Anyway, let's get started on the book review. So the book that I have for you today is Creature by Hunter Shea. I'm going to read the back to you, and then we're going to get right on into the full review. The monsters live inside Kate Woodson. Chronic pain and autoimmune diseases have robbed her of a normal, happy life. However, things start to look up when her husband Andrew surprises her with a stay in a Dream Lake cottage in Maine for the summer. It's beautiful, remote, idyllic, a place to heal. But they're not alone. Something is in the woods, screeching in the darkness, banging on the house and leaving animals for dead. Its jagged screams can be heard late into the night. Whatever it is, so far, it hasn't come into the house. But how long will that last? Kate's condition worsens and she becomes feverish, unable to tell dream from reality. Soon the cottage becomes their prison, and they'll be lucky to escape alive. Alright, so I picked this up because I've been trying to read a little bit more indie horror, because I love all types of horror and I want to support some more indie authors. And I've heard some good things about Hunter Shea. I haven't explored any of his work, so I decided to pick this up, and I'm very glad I did, because this is a very solidly written book. The story's very deep and emotional at times, and I really enjoyed it a lot. I will say from the get-go, though, if you are someone who doesn't like slow burn novels or novels where it takes a while for things to ramp up, this is probably not the book for you, because this is a slow burn novel. This is the type of book where you really focus more on the characters, because once you focus on the characters, what happens to them becomes more horrific, which I really like. I like both types of stories, one where it's action-packed the whole way through, and then I also do like more character-driven stories where it kind of just like ramps up, and then the end just is like this big explosion of awesomeness. So, so I do recommend it for people who enjoy character-driven stories and slow burns. I don't recommend it for people who if you don't have the patience to get through it, because a good chunk of this book, I would say, well more than half of it, almost like 2/3 of it, is really focused on the relationship between Andrew and Kate and some of their extended family members, but it really focuses on the couple and Kate's chronic illnesses, because she has two. She has lupus, and I think it's Ehlers-Danlos or something, a very rare disease where your like joints pop out and bruise, and sounds horrible. Reading this felt pained hearing about Kate, and from what I've heard from someone who does have chronic pain who has read this book, it's the most accurate representation they have ever read. And I don't have chronic pain, but I kind of understand the concept of having a chronic illness or a chronic mental disorder or something like that, because it just, so I kind of got that sort of like cyclical pattern, and how awful it is, and your heart just breaks for these characters, and you really, it seems very real, and I think it's because Hunter Shea's wife suffers from an autoimmune disorder, and so he's her caregiver, and so I think he put a lot of emotion and thoughts and experiences into this book, which made it very real. And I really liked too how Andrew is, a great husband. He's very loving to Kate, but he also has his own issues because of what's going on. Like, he's not this perfect person or the savior of Kate. He has his own flaws. In fact, I think he's beginning to develop a bit of a drinking problem in this book because of what's going on, because he's putting back like 7 beers a night. And he also has a little bit of an anger management problem, which pops up a few times because of his just feeling powerlessness over what's going on with Kate. But he loves her and he's dedicated to her. But it's not this simple, straightforward thing. And some of his thoughts seem like they're very real, where sometimes you can build up a little bit of resentment towards the person that you are caring for. And I think that does happen in this, but he still loves her. And I think that is like a really powerful strength of this book, is that these characters are dedicated to each other, going through this horrific thing that is horrible even without the supernatural thing that ends up happening, which may sound like a spoiler, but I swear, I mean, they basically say there's something going on in this book. It just, you have to take about 150, 175 pages for stuff to really start happening. But it's just really good, and it's heartbreaking, and the descriptions of pain are just really visceral and like, wow, ooh, that sounds awful. This is just so sad. And so many people go through stuff like this too. And it's difficult, and it kind of shows how Kate's chronic pain impacts, not just her relationship with Andrew or herself, but also her mother, because her mother doesn't seem to understand what's going on, and her relationship with her brother, and sort of how that's going on. And it was difficult to read at times, just because you start to feel for the characters and you feel bad that they're going through this. And then once things start to ramp up, it's very fun creature feature stuff happening, and I enjoyed that a lot. And I do think that the build up was necessary for really being invested in what happens at the end. It may have been slightly over the top with one of the explanations as to what's going on, so I knocked half a star. I gave this 4.5 out of 5 stars just because of that, and I do think that things could have started happening a little sooner in the book, but I was already engrossed in the writing and the characters, so I was, gonna finish. But I do think for the average reader, it may be a little too far into the book when things start to happen. But I do recommend you check it out, especially if you or a loved one or a friend suffers from chronic pain. It's some good representation in this, although I could also see how it may also be upsetting to someone with chronic pain. I guess it depends on your mindset. So go into it knowing that this book goes heavily into that, and those descriptions are, pretty brutal. Like, it's just, you feel it. You're like, oh, when I finish this, I'm like, I'm very thankful for my healthy body, and I'm so sorry for Kate. You really feel for her, and you feel for Andrew, and also their love story, because they'd been going through this situation for almost 10 years, and he's still dedicated and loving her, and I think that's more romantic than anything Disney can come up with. So anyway, so check this out. It's Creature by Hunter Shea, and you can get it on Amazon for not that much. I think it's like $10, and I definitely recommend you check it out. 4.5 out of 5 stars. Thank you so much for watching my video. Please comment, rate, and subscribe, and I promise I will not disappear again like I did the last few weeks. So thank you so much, and you guys have a great day, and happy reading. Bye.